So, I mean, let's get back to the label. You know, you have this mixtape coming out. The label's about to sort of launch and whatnot,
Yeah.
and you have this big sort of vision, and it's all sort of going in one direction, all in sync. And you know, obviously, you're suddenly very busy.
Yeah.
You know, how did you? And then you're saying you're still doing some production, or I mean, dabbling in edits and whatnot.
Yeah, that's when I was starting to take production more seriously too. Because I had produced some stuff over the years.
Yeah.
But I'd say '06 is when I started taking production more seriously. Yeah.
And you know, again, it gets back to, you know, you mentioned that, you know, whichever had to get dealt with first, but you know, again, running, even though you had a partner in the label, so obviously, you know, that he could shoulder some of the work, but you know, now you have the production, you're still touring heavily, you're with Kanye at the time. How did you make it all work?
I just kind of felt like I had to, you know, like I think that's the only way that I still get stuff done is I still haven't gotten to a point in my life where I feel like I can rest on something that much. Like I'm happy and proud of a lot of things that I've achieved, but I still have that sort of sense of like, you know, this stuff is cool, but I still need to do that. Like there's still, you know, unfinished business for me, so, you know, and it's an exciting time. I think like, you know, I've been DJing since I was prepubescent. Like it's,
If you want to put it that way, but yes.
yeah, to put it biologically, and but for years, you know, my friends and I, we all wanted DJing to be in the limelight, and we knew that it could. You know, like we all believed in it, and we knew that DJing had this, you know, this sort of power, and we know that DJs are the first to get access to new music, and we know that DJs can connect with an audience in a very special way. So we wanted this scene to blow, we wanted the music to blow, and you know, it kind of has, you know, like DJing
Absolutely.
is the, you know, the,
Is it?
Yeah, it's the central point of music at this point. I repeated the word point twice. No, but it's DJing is at the center of music. DJs, you know, are really empowered, and audiences not only understand but expect DJs to be producers as well, which wasn't the case before. Like I remember working on music in those years, in 2006 or so, and feeling like I would have to explain to people what an A-Trak record would be, you know, because in those years, if there was a record by a DJ, the DJ would sort of be, it would be a compilation. The DJ would be the sort of, you know, Khaled type connecting hand of like, let me grab this beat and this rapper and it'll be really cool. And so I remember when it was an effort to be like, no, we actually make music too. So, but now everyone understands that, you know? I remember when I was first starting to win battles and I was a kid and I would go to family reunions and like I would have to explain to my relatives that I was a DJ because my mom would be like, tell them what you want. And then, you know, and relatives just being like, oh, you're a DJ, so what radio station are you on? Or like, you know, that kind of thing. People thought that the DJ was the guy that spoke on the radio. So now we're at that point finally where we no longer have to explain this stuff, right? Like everyone knows and accepts what the DJ is, and not just that, but they're excited about it. Do you know what I mean? Like you got, you know, guys like Skrillex and deadmau5 on the cover of like, you know, Rolling Stone and Spin and stuff like this. This is it. We're here. So that in itself is a motivation to me. That's what I'm kind of trying to get at with my long-winded sentences. That's the motivation too. Is like we've been working towards this goal for years. I've been working towards it for like 16 years or something. So we have it. We have that power. So it's like now's not the time to be a slouch. Now's the time to like, you know, get to work and like the funny thing is too in terms of like, you know, when I was talking a second ago about how like some of the genre pairings and, you know, electronic music and rap colliding, how that was kind of like an experimental thing 5 or 6 years ago, and now it's kind of a mainstream thing. You turn on the radio and you hear, you know, dance rap. A lot of it sucks, you know, like a lot of it's really watered down. But that too is a motivation to me. I think there's two ways you can react to that. You know, if you hear a really sort of, if you hear one of those records that's just too watered down, you can either choose to be like turned off and be like, oh, this shit sucks, I'm gonna go make some weird jazz, you know, so turn your back on it. Or you could have the sort of like fixer-upper approach of like, man, I'm not crazy about the way these guys made this record, but at least people are open to it. So let me try to make the good record. You know, like that's the kind of approach that I try to keep. Of like, even if there's something I don't like, you know, I'm happy that people are doing well. And then when it's time for me to make music, I literally approach it on some like, let me make the record that I want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, let me make what I think, what I want other people to hear too.